Yeah, so hi guys, welcome to another ETHDenver 2022 in-person hackathon project demo session. This is Chris from DoraHacks. Very glad and exciting to be here and host you guys today. And just let you guys know, so this year is actually the first time that DoraHacks support the ETHDenver in-person hackathon, and the result is pretty good. We have 171 project submissions, and they all did a really good job. And really exciting to see there are 30 teams emerge among them and be as the finalist team. And today we actually have three of them with us, which are DeathStars, DAOn't, and LOUDVŞRSḵ. So without further ado, let's welcome the first project, which is the DeathStars to start. And for all the audience, if you have any questions during the session, please feel free to ask in our YouTube chat room. Yeah, and Noah and Daniel, feel free to start.
Perfect. Hey guys, I'm Noah. This is Daniel. We're Project Death Star, and this project is a culmination by the team at Harpy.io.
So one of the big issues in crypto, the formatting got a little messed up in the slide, but crypto hacks and scams are becoming more and more complex. But at the same time, consumers don't really have software tools to protect themselves against these hacks and scams. So what we've created is a front-running bot that stops hackers from transferring hacked assets back into their own accounts. So if you do get hacked and the hackers try to move the money around, it'll stop that transaction in transit.
To create that front-running bot, we exploit something called MEV. And for those who don't know what MEV is, it stands for Miner Extractable Value. It's the idea that when a miner mines blocks, they will look for the maximum profit by inserting, removing, or reordering transactions in a given block. So for example, say transactions come in an order of 100 GUI, 300 GUI, and 200 GUI. Most miners will reorder transactions so that they will have the 300 GUI transaction go first, and then they can take the most profit.
So we have kind of a demo. It's not going to be a live demo because we would have to wait for transactions to confirm, and we don't want to do that. So this is just screenshots of the app. But the situation is you've just stolen the private key to the Empire's funds on Tatooine, so Star Wars theme. And you're not responsible for transferring those tokens back to your own crypto vault. So you are a hacker. You've stolen someone's private key, and you're trying to transfer those funds. You start to transfer those hacked funds, but MetaMask or whatever wallet you're using starts to throw you an error. And what actually happens is that for some reason the transaction fails and the money isn't sent. So as you can see in the previous slide, there was 1 million balance in Tatooine, but now there's 0. And this new wallet that just came up called the Death Star came in, and it looks like they just took all the money. So what happened here? What actually happened is that while your funds were in transit, the Death Star saw that the funds were being transferred to an unauthorized address and pretty much said, transfer the funds into me instead, and I will pay a higher gas fee. So how does this actually work in practice? How would you as a person set up this bot and protect yourself against hacks and scams? First of all, you would set up an address book of trusted addresses. So for example, my address book is Noah over here. I'd like to use OpenSea, and I also use Curve Finance. So those are the 3 I'm going to set. Then I'm going to give the Flashbot some approval over my tokens. And the Flashbot will now be scanning the blockchain like 10 or 100 times per second. And if a transaction to an untrusted address is detected, the Flashbot will transfer crypto out of the compromised wallet and into itself with a higher gas fee.
So some applications of this front runner, one of the first applications is allowing people to have their own Death Star, quote unquote Death Star, on their own local machines. So we definitely plan to release this open source, and people would be able to host Death Star on their own computers and prevent their crypto from being hacked, scammed, or exploited in any kind of way. Another application of this front runner would be something like a hosted node. So for example, the most recent OpenSea hack, if OpenSea wanted Death Star to protect their customers, they would be able to set up the front runner code and provide anti-hack protection for all of their customers.
So what are the next steps for Death Star and the project? So as we said, we're with the team at Heartbeat.io. Me and Noah are the co-founders, but we've also created this project as kind of a public good project. So we're going to be releasing this frontrunner on an MIT license. So everyone can use the frontrunners, set them up on their local machines. We're also planning to host frontrunner nodes on our own servers to help protect our customers against hacks and scams. So the future is launch it out to the public, but also be running some nodes on our own machines as well.
So, crypto security hasn't changed at all since 2013. It hasn't advanced much. And we truly believe that everyone should be safe and they should feel safe using DeFi, using Web3. So we think that Death Star is a great application, and we hope you guys check us out at Heartbeat. Thank you.
Yep, totally. Thank you very much, guys, for the presentation. Let me see if there's any questions from the, well, okay. Yeah, so I actually have a few questions I want to ask you guys. So except for collaborations with like Happy and MIT license, like what gonna be other like roadmap or steps for the whole projects? Like, are you guys want to like build it like into actual startup or anything that you want to share with us?
So I guess you're asking us a bit more about like what our company does. Is that correct? Or like
Yeah,
what
yeah.
we do with this. So what our company does is we protect people across all their Ethereum wallets from hacks, scams, and key loss. So for right now, we've actually launched. So we're an actual company. We've launched our key recovery stuff. So we've built like kind of zero knowledge asset recovery. If you ever lose your crypto, you can sign up with Heartbeat. And if you had a Heartbeat plan before, you can recover your funds that way. This is kind of step 2 in the protection process. Add Death Star, add anti-hack prevention, in addition to our private key loss prevention as well. So we're trying to become modern, scalable security for Web3, the first of its kind since like hardware wallets came up, essentially.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, that's definitely a very important topic, especially when more and more general and retailer users entering the crypto space. Definitely the whole industry need some team like you guys to building on something to protect their benefits. Yeah, and looking forward to see how it goes in the future. Thank you very much, guys, for the presentation. We're gonna move to the next one, which is
Thank you.
DAOn't. Yeah, thank you very much, guys. Yeah, feel free to start.
All right, hello everybody. With Mayur, my name is Sianoy, and we'll be presenting Do or Don't. I hope you can see my presentation. All right, so basically, many of us are, joining DAOs of late, especially, and the problem is that we don't know what we're getting into, and we also don't know if these DAOs are a good fit or align with our values. So Do or Don't offers the evaluation of transparency and decentralization of DAOs. And we also offer tools that, help users figure out if these DAOs align with their values. So our mission statement for now is to reinforce the transparency and decentralization of DAOs. And currently there are numerous tools, DAO tools out there that, provide data on, let's say, token distribution or treasury size, but newbies seem to have, trouble discerning this data and making well-informed decisions in selecting or evaluating DAOs. So when we build a website, the first thing that you will see is our trust score, and it's built up of different metrics such as token distribution and governance. And basically, the higher the trust score is, which its limit is 100 points, the more decentralized, transparent, and active the DAO is. So over here, you can see it's not, the letters are very small, but we have the example DAO. And looking at governance as a metric, we have two sub-metrics, which are like average active users or voters in percentage, and monthly completed proposals on the left. And on the right, we have, we're looking at, let's say, the ratings metrics. So we have like member ratings, and below that, we have actual reviews of the members. So we conducted a survey and interviews just to discover what the community deems relevant in the evaluation of a DAO or decentralization of a DAO. And we found that active members participating in proposals was leading, and the least popular one was social media. So we know that this method of evaluation is quite subjective. So we also include a personalization tool that enables users to set their own preferences in terms of what they're looking for in a DAO. And I'll hand this over to my teammate, Mayur.
Thanks, CNI. So we not only develop a trust core, but in our architecture, we develop hybrid governance mechanism where it takes best of both worlds, where we are integrating off-chain DAO governance data using Boardroom API, along with using Graph protocol. We are integrating all the on-chain DAO data from protocols like Aragon, DAO House. So after that data, we are combining with social media metrics and developing this hybrid governance protocol, wherein the smart contract using Chainlink keeper data. Every day we are minting a CID from IPFS, which holds all this aggregated data, which provides you the benefit of storing all data on chain. Next slide, please. And as you can see, this is how our backend and front end is integrated. And our front end has simple, actionable data visualizations, which helps viewers or joiners to make decisions about which DAO they want to join. So step 1, data querying. Step 2, analysis of token distribution DAO treasury. Step 3, data visualization and trust score metrics calculation. And this is how we are doing market comparison. What are the features which we are providing, which are currently being missed in other available platforms out there? And our revenue stream is where they were giving out freemium model, where the DAO joiners have they can watch the score easily, but also we provide DAO credibility check, like you have verification check in Twitter, in-depth data-driven analytics on how DAO operations can be improved, and how also like guideline for the new DAOs who wants to create a better functional DAO, and also the insights about the preference of people, what makes a DAO truly decentralized. And there are more than 4,231 DAOs, which covers 8.8 billion industry, and this is gonna grow more and more. So we need this tool for all the people who are gonna onboard into the DAO ecosystem, and also improving the DAO ecosystem. This is our roadmap, where in Q2 we are doing launching and getting your UX feedbacks, doing audits for it. Q3 we are doing main launch. Also, we are adding more AI features and data analytics feature, because we have a review system where people can write feedback about their experience of the DAO. So all this data using natural language, we are gonna make it actionable feedback. And Q4 is our main launch, where we have more features, and this is our goals. Thank you for all the support.
Yeah, totally. Thank you guys for the presentation. Sorry if I missed it, but one question from me is the revenue model. And I believe because you guys provide a very clear roadmap, and I guess you guys trying to build it as a early stage startup. So I'm just wondering how you guys gonna like make revenue operating the whole team and projects. Yeah.
Yeah. So we have like DAOs who would provide us money to give them a detailed analytics report about what are the current trust score, and we give them how can you improve the trust score, what are the ways you can improve the governance, decentralization aspect of your DAO. And also, since we have all this aggregated data with and applying AI on top of this, we can also give a really good report of if there's someone is starting a new DAO, what are the available options, and based on that category, how can they start a DAO which is truly decentralized.
Okay, so it's more like a subscription tool for all the DAOs that want to get more insights from what you guys have in your data room. Cool. Gotcha.
Yeah, free to customers, but paid to DAOs who want
Yeah.
that.
Gotcha. Yeah. Actually, I quite like that ideas. And actually, for DoraHacks, we are also very big better on the DAO and the whole DAO tooling sector. We have incubated our own DAO as a services infrastructure project called the Dora Factory. And yeah, glad to see more and more teams are building on and believing in DAO sectors. Yeah. Thank you very much, guys. We're
Thank
gonna
you.
move to the yeah, for sure. And we're gonna move to the last but not the least project, which is the LOUDVერსRSE. And oh yeah, two people. Peter, nice to meet you, and Neil. Feel free to start when you're ready.
Hey, thanks for having us. Hey, Pete, how's it going? We're not co-located like the first team, but yeah, great. So we're the LOUDVrsRSE team. We thought a great way to share our product vision would be to share the demo video. So I have it right here, and I'll go ahead and share a video. Pete, give a thumbs up if the audio is coming through. It should be working because I tested it.
Web3 offers creators many opportunities to fund and monetize their work, but there's still an unmet need in open design space for funding harder to quantify public goods like music, poetry, and theater at scale. Introducing LOUDVrsRSE. LOUDVrsRSE is a two-sided marketplace to help creators sustainably ship creative work. On one side is creators and their collaborators. On the other is fans and their funders. Let's jump in to see how it works. Alright, so here we have the LOUDVrsRSE homepage. You can see that we want to be chronotype inclusive for both solar punks and lunar punks. Alright, let's go ahead and take a look at the open calls. So here are creative projects that have already been posted. I'm going to go ahead and connect my wallet and post a new call. Give it a compelling title, a nice description, set the category and genre and a minimum funding goal, and then talk about my deliverable and how many days I'll need to pull this off. Let's jump to the other side of the marketplace. I'm going to go ahead and connect my wallet as a fan and browse the open calls for funds. Solar Punk Strings. This one looks interesting. But before contributing, I want to take a look at the creator and see what they've done in the past. Okay, great. I'm going to go ahead and contribute 0.01 ETH to this project. Now, if this project gets successfully funded, I'll receive a crowd commission, which is a non-transferable NFT that represents my proof of patronage. Let's go behind the scenes to see how the matching works. We use a mechanism called double constrained quadratic funding, which calculates matching funds with both a fixed subsidy pool and minimum viable funding goals for the projects. This ensures that funds are sent only to viable projects and maximizes public benefit. Finally, at the end of each matching round, we select one project at random to receive a bonus 0.1 ETH. Now that the round is over and my call has been successfully funded, as the creator, I can go in and start a stream which will continuously stream me funds over the project timeline. When the work is complete, I can upload the final deliverable, in this case an audio MP3 of the string quartet. This will mint a piece of smart art, which is an NFT collectible that allows artists and contributors to co-create and share in the financial upside. So in this example, I'm going to create a royalty allocation table with Slice Protocol. I'll take 50%, I'll give 30% to a solar-focused charity, and I'll offer 1% each to the 20 contributors that helped fund my project. Okay, let's take a quick look at the technology. LOUDVერსRSE is built on the Ethereum blockchain with some of the most innovative technology in Web3 today. So what's next for LOUDVrsE? Possible futures include on-chain calls for collaborators, genre-specific matching pools and governance structures, or continuous preference signaling by community members. So the too long didn't read is LOUDVrsRSE is all about helping artists ship creative work with some awesome new Web3 primitives. LOUDVrsRSE. Be seen, be heard, be experienced. Web3 offers creators many opportunities to fund and monetize their work, but there's still an unmet need.
Nice.
Cool.
Cool.
Do you guys have anything you want to add?
Yeah, I think Pete, if you wanted to share anything from behind the scenes, and then I can share a little bit more about what we're thinking around next steps.
Sure. I think all of us came into this with the idea that this was a hackathon project. We were here to learn. We were here to meet other people, and it's actually pretty impressive to me how smoothly that came together. We did some unique things, like we didn't have any type of centralized backend. We did everything on chain. We used the graph extensively to make everything that you saw work. I think maybe in the real world you might do things differently, but it's actually kind of exciting to do things in a pure Web3 kind of way. We also did some thinking around quadratic funding, and we had the little bit of an extension to the idea of quadratic funding with the minimum viable concept. So we can see whether a project is viable and set a minimum amount, and then make sure that our matching funds are distributed to only things that are viable. So that was a fun thing to figure out how to make that actually work.
Yeah, it was a hectic 10 days, but it was some of the most fun that I've ever had. I'll be honest, it was just so much fun to connect with Pete, and then Nick and John were the other two teammates. So we had 4 of us, which is a great mix. Since we did this video, in terms of next steps, we're thinking, we're thinking about some different paths, and I don't want to share too much about what we're doing for the virtual hackathon, but I will say that we're going to run an invite-only real money round for creators, and that's part of the next step that we're taking, and that will be a beta round with more to come, and yeah, definitely excited to share more with folks that have been asking and following along. Any questions or things from the YouTube stream?
Yeah, so I do actually have questions, because I just want to know, because we all know that the quadratic funding is especially designed for sponsor and grant public goods, and for your project it's actually more more public goods, because the poetry, the sound stuff, it is I mean it is absolutely a very great way to sponsor all this singers and public goods. But I just want to know, for users who donate for these projects, except the NFT, is there anything else that they want to get? Because it might affect the incentive for users to donate.
Yeah. I think the main incentive, we have the idea of the crowd commissioned NFT, which you can look at as, there's a number of different directions that could go. One of the things we're looking at is honestly what the SEC has to say about tokenized NFTs. We have to find that out, but in a maximally successful type of world, that would be ownership of something that's created into the future, and potentially getting benefit from that. I think worst case, you have some notion of proof of patronage. You have some prestige of saying, I've contributed to this thing which has gone on, and I think there's a lot of room for that. I actually just got back from a middle school band concert of all things, and they mentioned there that one of the pieces they performed turns out to be crowd commissioned. It turns out that it was funded by a lot of different middle schools all around the country, and they funded a composer to go compose this entire multi-movement piece. So I think there are some real world examples of that, but but that could be done a lot more efficiently and with a lot less coordination failure with some of what we have with Web3.
Totally. And something I'd add on top of what Pete said was, I think you were kind of alluding to it, Chris, but this idea of like public goods versus private goods. And in some ways, the artworks that we kind of demoed creating here exist on a continuum. So, whether it's excludable or rival risk, sometimes it's not super, Boolean in which square of the 2x2 matrix a good can fall. And the other realization that we came to as we were working through it is a different medium. So, if I still hold the copyright for the composition and I own the master rights to the recording of the composition, that doesn't mean that it can't be broadcast widely. And of course, other things like PROs and, publishing and licensing get into it. But the idea that, the public can enjoy an artistic work, even if the copyright isn't in the public domain. And so that's something that I'm still trying to work through. It's that goods can exist in different media, and they might actually be different along that kind of continuum of, excludable or rival risk. So if anybody has any ideas there, please hit me up, NeoDAOist on Twitter. I'd love to chat more.
Cool. Yeah. That totally makes sense to me. Actually, I think Dora is actually one of the experts in the industry who know about quadratic funding, because we deploys our own quadratic funding for different Web3 ecosystems. So, I mean, we actually very love what your guys' ideas. I mean, for public good sites, we could see there is a lot of, more and more projects are trying to build upon it. But still we are in a very early stage, because I believe probably more than half of the people in the industry don't know about the quadratic funding and public goods grants. Yeah, so I mean, definitely there's a lot of way and more directions that we could explore in the future. Yeah, thank you guys very much for the presentation. I guess that's it for today. So want to appreciate 3 of the amazing projects to present today. I believe the whole sessions is super helpful for all the audience to understand what you guys are trying to build right now. And and we actually have a series of the project demo session in the future following today's. And if you haven't follow us on YouTube, please make sure you do that, so you won't miss out any of the events like today's. Yeah, and hope you guys all doing great, and happy building in the future. Yeah, thanks for joining us today. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
For having us.
Cheers.